Hi friends, in our previous video we saw about uh, how to create a controller and how to call the different HTTP methods from the controller. So we looked into that example. So there we used request mapping annotation on top of method. So for each method, so if you look into this, so we provided whether it's a post request or get request or put request or delete request. So we specified the request type. So and we tested this by using our REST client. So you can use Postman also. But if you look into this, so request mapping. So if you want to use request mapping, you need to provide the attributes for that. So here you need to specify the method and path. So this is nothing but your HTTP URI colon local host colon port number. So 8080 is my port and test. So this is your path. And sorry, yeah. So this is called your URI. So from the by using this URI, you can able to access a particular service or a method. Now, I don't want to use this much big annotation. So we can use request. So instead of using request mapping, you can use post mapping, get mapping, put mapping, delete mapping. So that is a shortcut form of your request mapping. So let's look into that one, how to use that one. So instead of using request mapping annotation, you can use a post mapping, which is a shortcut form of your request mapping. There you no need to mention this method. So let me create one more controller, new class, test controller one. So this is my controller. So now here also I want to use all HTTP methods. So first, so let me copy this code, same code. So M1 method and use it. So this is the written type of this method. So let me format the code. So now I have formatted. So it's an ordinary method. Now I want to make this as a web service. So for that, you need to use some annotation on top of method. And at the same time, if you look into this class, it's an ordinary class. So it's not a REST controller. So how to make this as a REST controller? So use the annotation REST controller. So now this class will be identified by your Spring Boot framework. Now you mentioned this as a controller. So this controller will provide some services. So now this is my method M1. So how to make this as a RESTful web service? So for that you can either use request mapping. So this is a request mapping. So instead, I don't want to use this much big annotation. So request mapping, path, and method. So everything we are specifying here. So if you look into this, so this is get method, this is post method, this is put method, this is delete method. So I don't want to write this much big annotation. So what is the shortcut form of this? So what is this? At the rate get mapping. So this is the shortcut form of that. And here the attributes. So consumes is there, producer is there. So these things we will discuss later. So path. So test. This is nothing but a shortcut form of this. So instead of writing this much big annotation, so we use get mapping. So here in the get is specifying the method name here itself. So no need to specify any method. So Control Z. So let me delete this and let me add one more method. So these are the three methods. So let me copy. Now, so I don't want to use, so this is post mapping. I don't want to use request mapping. So because it's a big annotation. So use post mapping. POST mapping. So which is a shortcut form. So path. Here. So this is put. So remove this request mapping. Use put mapping at the rate put mapping. So look into this control space path. So what is it we are using? So test. Let me check. So here also we are using test. So it will be in ambiguous condition. Which method it needs to call? See, here I am having two controllers. If you look into this example, I am having two controllers. The two controllers are having the same path. So which method it needs to call? So it will be in ambiguous status. So let me change it to test one. Test one. And here also, instead of this request mapping, I am using delete mapping. Delete mapping on the path. So what is the path? So test one. So now let me run the application. Control Shift O for organizing the imports. Now let me run the application. Now the application is not running, it's in stop mode. So let me run the application. So Spring Boot application. So the server is not yet started. If you look into this, yes, server is started at 8080. This is the default port. If you want to change this port number, yes, you can do that. So let me go to my, yes, now. So test one. See, it's gone. So if I use put, see, update required. So here, what we have done, so in our previous example, we have used the request mapping. If you are using request mapping, so here we need to specify the path and the method name, method also. So which method you want to call, because all the services in your controller will have the same path. So which method we need to call? So here in the method, so we will have one more attribute for your request mapping. So that is method. So in the method you need to specify those things. So I don't want to write this much big annotation. So go for this. If you look into this, both are same. Both will work similarly. Here, yeah, here you need to use consumer, producer. So those things we'll discuss. So what type of input request your web service is expecting? So that is consumes. So it might be application.json or application.xml. So those things we'll discuss in next session. So this is about request mapping and get mapping. Both are same. So get mapping is a shortcut form of your request mapping. So instead of writing this much big code, we'll use the short form. So hope you understood this one. Yeah. So yes. So we'll meet in next video. Thank you.